Poland is a racist country, or at least that's what some of the people in this video seem to think.
Being black in Poland is a terrible situation. We were being beaten up in 2006, 2007 in the streets.
I was in a bar with my wife and a couple of Latino friends, and there are two Polish guys drinking. They told them, "Oh, why did you betray your race? Why are you with brown people?"
So we're gonna watch this video today by Aliens in Poland called Racism in Poland. I've done a couple videos on their channel. I'll leave a link if you guys are interested in watching those.
Hi, I'm Tamara Malcolm. I am from Panama, and now I live in Warsaw.
My name is Kandaka Dua.
Yeah, she's great. I interviewed her
from
for my
Sudan,
channel.
and I've been living in Krakow.
Hello, my name is Edmond. I'm from Nigeria. I live here in Warsaw, Poland for now 17, probably going to 18 years.
Cześć, nazywam się Rose. Możecie też mówić na mnie Róża. Urodziłam się tutaj w Warszawie, no i kocham Warszawę, kocham Polskę, piękny kraj.
My name is Sean. I am from Zimbabwe. My first city was Lublin. I then moved to Warsaw like a few months back.
I'm David.
Yeah, that guy has
from
incredible
Mexico
style.
City. I've been living in Poland for 11 years.
My name is Kashif Shahid. I'm from Pakistan. I've been here in Poland for almost like 3 years.
My name is Deidre. I'm from the U.S., South Carolina specifically. I am African American, but I prefer Black American.
Why did you move to Poland?
I think this video is very interesting because he's interviewing people who are like of darker skin complexion. It's hard for me to speak on this, on like racism in general, because as an Asian person, what we experience as racism is going to be very different than what they experience. Unfortunately, here in Poland, Asians are treated differently than other minorities, if I'm being honest, because the Vietnamese community has made a very good reputation for us here in Poland. And because our cultures are so similar, they see us as not a problem. Fun fact, every time I go into stores, they'll usually speak to me in Polish first because they assume I'm just living here or I was born here.
Have you experienced any racism in Poland?
As a black, Muslim, Arab, Sudanese in Poland,
It's like all max discrimination levels.
For real.
I can easily say that it's the safest place I have ever felt.
I wonder if that's because she's a woman and women are treated quite well here in Poland. A lot of my foreigner women friends have also said that they feel very safe walking around. They haven't experienced a lot of racism. But then a lot of the negative racist experience that I've heard from people of color, including Asians and black people, have been towards men. So I think that's interesting to point out as well.
Being a Sudanese, being a black person in Poland is a special experience. Before I came here, a lot of my friends warned me not to come. It's known for Poland or Polish people to be racist. Thankfully, I didn't listen to anyone because I do not think that this is racism. It's just there aren't many black people in Poland in general.
They're curious.
Yes, the hair, the color, it looks
hair is fire,
different.
for
Once
sure.
you get this understanding of the mentality, you see Poland in a different way. Honestly, I have experienced way more racism in the Middle East compared to here, which is sad to say. We have to understand that racism is you feeling unsafe, people attacking you, pointing at you, calling you names. Curiosity is literally staring at you because you're foreign. Nope. Racism, my experience, zero.
So you had a prejudice about Poland that it's quite...
That has been so far my experience too. When I've been to some of the smaller cities, sure, people are staring at you because you look different. I think when people talk about racism, it's very tricky because nowadays, it seems like for the last few years, people have complained about racism when things were not racist, that it's almost like people were crying wolf. So now when people are making legitimate complaints about things that are actually racist, a lot of people don't really want to listen anymore and just be like, stop being so sensitive. And after you travel around the world, you realize that like, what would be considered racist in a Western country standards, for example, in like Germany or the US, is just normal behavior in other places around the world. Many countries and many societies are very homogenous. So every time they see somebody that doesn't belong there or doesn't look like everybody else, you're naturally going to stand out. Unfortunately, all the positive or negative stereotypes that your race has are going to be used against you. I think a lot of people are upset about that. I've just accepted that that's a natural part of human nature. That's how we are. We are tribal by nature. We naturally gravitate towards people that look like us and ostracize people that don't look like us. I don't think that's a good or bad thing. I think it's just hardwired into us. So when people say that we need to abolish racism, I feel like it's a very privileged belief because you can only really think that when you grow up in a society that is very multicultural.
Quite going to be racist. Now that you're here for some time, what do you have to say to that?
It's unfair judgment of the world to Poland, to be fully honest. Very funny situations when I have photo shoots in the streets. The older people are the ones who stop by and then say things in Polish. We wish we were here when we were younger.
You also have to keep in mind that she's living in Krakow. Krakow is the most international city in Poland because it has the most tourists that visit here. So people are not that weirded out by foreigners. I think you're gonna see more of the racism and have a lot more different of an experience when you go to some of the smaller cities in Poland.
So instead of attacks and racism, I'm actually
Getting selfies?
yes.
You said you came in 2005, and at that time, I assume there were not many foreigners, less Africans. What was it like that time? Did you have any different experiences?
Being black in Poland is a terrible situation. We have been beaten up in 2006, 2007 in the streets, going back from club or maybe going back from work. So many things have occurred here in Poland, most of them that are not civilized. Let me just put it this way, because when you're civilized, you know that everybody is the same. It's not about just about color of skin. You have to relate, accept, and adapt with other foreigners. So it was so hard for us, but we're still living here because we can't resist. We can't give up being black. So
Yeah, and I think this guy's experience is so different because of the fact that he's a male. And if I'm being honest, he's much darker skinned than the woman was. And I wonder if that has a factor to play in it as well.
Poland still have a long way to go with the color of skin.
Compared to when you came versus where you are now, is there still some incidents that happen now, or
Yes,
is it different?
there are still a lot of them. Last year I was stopped here in my restaurant here. They came here, somebody
That's
eat food, finished eating
crazy.
food. He said that the food was nonsense. He said he wouldn't pay. He removed jackknife, wanted to stab me. I put my hand, he cut my hand. I fought with his hand to grab the knife out of his hand. I reported to the police. Since then till now, they haven't done anything. If like it was me that stabbed the Polish person, 24 hours they will
Totally.
get me.
Yeah, that's
so
true.
that's what I say, that there are still a long way to go with racism, because I see nothing wrong when a foreigner lives in a country where he contributes. He should be protected. We have so many issues with me, with my family, with my friends, that we can't even say about because nobody to speak for you. So we are doing our best to see how we can be able to curtail the crime rates of brutal attack from the foreigners living in Poland. It's not just only here in Poland, everywhere, but we that live here, we have the ones that we can share and the ones that we cannot share, so that it will not be like you're criticizing publicly the country that you live in. Yeah. So racism is still in Poland.
Yeah.
I wouldn't hide it. A lot of
And I'm glad that he's speaking out and that he has a platform to say this, because I understand what he's saying. And I think a lot of people that come from maybe Africa and stuff like that, they don't want to shake the boat because life here is significantly better than where they came from. This guy's kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place. It is unfortunate because I think in Poland, most people are not racist, but there is a select few people that are racist. And some of the stories that I've heard of people getting beat up, that has happened. Like, I've heard that from Asian people and from black people as well. I'm glad he's speaking up about it, though. I think this is a very valid concern.
fight, a lot of nicknames they are calling us still. We stay. Tarina, Mujinek, Bambo, Monkey, and we don't get it offended. You have to keep your head up. So
And how do you react to people when people are racist towards you? Do you understand what they're saying?
yes, I speak Polish, I understand what they say. I ignore them because ignorance makes them look stupid. When they abuse you, that shows no sign of maturity or respect, or they have not been abroad to know how to mingle or deal with foreigners. The best way to treat it is to ignore and move further and do your best to be better than who you are. That's what we do, and that's what I'm doing as well.
Good for you, bro.
Very well said.
Respect,
Have you
man.
experienced any racism in Poland?
Unfortunately, yes, and I think many foreigners, this is the sad part about Poland, have brown skin, you're more probable that you will experience
Just
racism.
what I was saying,
Sad,
bro. It's
because
true.
of some people, all the beautiful things that Poland offers, and then specific people, like just to ruin it for everyone.
Do you mind like expressing some of the
No worries.
examples?
I play football. They tell you like dark skin, like chapata. Not chapata. I'm not from the Middle East. I'm from Mexico. Call me taco. I don't know if you want to insult me. The worst thing is that I was in a bar with my wife and a couple of Latino friends, and there are two Polish guys drinking. They told them, "Oh, why did you betray your race? Why are you with brown people? You have us like white people."
They said that to your Polish wife.
They were talking to my Polish wife in Polish. This guy didn't know that I spoke Polish. Brilliant, Physical aggression, just like some pushes, nothing else, fortunately. But yeah, I've read and I know from friends that they experience something worse. That's the sad part about Poland.
How do you deal with such a situation?
2 versus 2, that's fine because you can confront. I confronted them, right? Like, what's your problem? In another situation, when you are 10 against 1, you cannot do anything. That's sad. They teach you in school, just make yourself a little ball and just wait for it to happen.
Have you received any comments online as well?
Of course, man, with my vlog. You can make 1,000 posts about how Poland is beautiful, how amazing is Poland. Since the moment you say, I don't like this about Poland because this, oh my God, online trolls come to you and insult you. It's like, if you don't like, go back to your country. No one forced you to live in Poland.
Yeah, I
But
get those
in
comments
person,
all the time,
no,
too.
just take off yourself, guys. It's like Poland is safe generally. It might happen, but not only in Poland, in all over the world, even in Mexico, a lot of racism. There are some people in Mexico that I'm like, Jesus Christ, why?
I hope there's be a fight with.
Yeah, that's just a part of being online, right? Like, I get those kind of comments all the time. I'm sorry that he had to go through that.
I don't want to generalize. Poland is racist. No. Some people are racist. Most of the people are really cool. And they like if you try to adapt.
I don't think I have faced any racism in Poland. I know people have had their experiences, but that has not been my experience here. Poland has a different experience with like colonialism. They didn't really have any colonies.
But that also gives it a different dynamic in the sense that Polish people have not had that experience meeting different kinds of races and ethnicities. So when they do meet someone here, probably it's also for some people it's the first time.
Yes, it is a first-time experience for them. For me, that's been positive. People are curious, and there's nothing wrong with curiosity. There may be a language barrier. They may not communicate their question exactly, but I haven't felt any hostility towards me.
I'm glad to know that.
Yeah, people have asked me, oh, maybe because you don't understand Polish. I've had friends with me that are Polish or boyfriends, and we've gone to small towns and we could hear things being said. And I said, be honest and tell me, what did they say? And he's like, they were saying positive things, and I'm so shocked. We would be.
So she said something that flew under the radar that I think is very important. She has been here for a while, but she does not speak Polish. Whereas all the other guys who have had experiences with racism, they all do speak Polish. My experience will probably change when I start getting better in Polish because my Polish is improving. There's a lot of foreigners living here in Poland that do not speak the language and have not tried to learn it. This is a really big concern that I bring up in a lot of my videos, and a lot of Polish people want to fight me on this. This is a legitimate concern. People are either learning Russian or they're learning English. They're refusing to learn Polish. But there are a lot of foreigners who do speak Polish here, which gave me a lot of hope and inspiration that it is possible, and that's why it's encouraging me to really put the time and effort to learn a lot more Polish.
All these people wanting to come take pictures with me and all of this. It's just been positive experiences. Curiosity, there's nothing wrong with that. If people go back in Poland's history, this was a very big melting pot. You had a lot of religions here.
True.
The times where I've seen negativity, it was situations where I think people who've experienced some racism in other places and they automatically thought that's what Polish people would do or say or think. How can you attack someone for what you think they are thinking?
Thank you.
You don't know.
I probably have experienced it more often than I know, but I don't know what anyone's saying, so I don't care. Because that's my philosophy. If I don't know what you're saying, then you're not talking to me. I was out with one friend one time. She speaks Polish. A guy said Poland is for Polish people. I was like, oh girl, I didn't understand him, so he wasn't talking to me. I was just going to keep walking.
Would you say you are as comfortable in your skin in
A lot of Polish people do say that though. Poland is for Polish people. And to be honest, I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't think that's racism. I kind of share a similar opinion with America. I think America should prioritize Americans first, and it doesn't seem like we're doing that. So yeah, I don't really think that's too much of a problem, actually.
I'm a black American, so racism follows me everywhere. So it's okay. I'm cool with it. Like, it's no big...
I also think it's very interesting hearing her perspective as a black American versus Tamara, who is a black Panamanian, and their views on racism and how the world perceives them. Maybe it could be an age difference as well, because I think Tamara is maybe in her 50s, even though she doesn't look it, she looks great for her age. We had this conversation on my channel before where if you're black and not from America, you tend to perceive people's behavior as more positive, not always through a racist lens. But there is something that I've noticed about black people from America specifically, that they are more inclined to view things in a negative light and to see it as everything being racist. And I always found that very interesting.
I would walk down the street sometimes and I would have people say to me, go back to Pakistan.
not even the right country?
I am not even from Pakistan. Or they would just assume that I have a bomb in my bag. I mean, they did make comments like, that I only eat chapatis. And I'm like, that's the only bread you know. There's so many others.
How do you deal with such a situation when people come and talk to you, especially that you're Polish?
No one usually directly comes and says this to me. They will walk by and make a comment. I would just go and catch them and be like, hey, I'm Polish, and I start talking to them in Polish, that just throws them off, and they end up apologizing to me.
That must be such a shock to them, right?
Just takes everyone back, like, oh, okay, so she's Polish, she's from Warsaw, like she's ours. I don't want people who are...
And I think women like her are actually a really good overall influence on Polish people, because Polish people welcome tourists, but they're not super happy about foreigners, especially if you've lived here for a long time and you haven't made an effort to learn the language. But then once you prove that you can speak Polish and you're one of them, then their whole entire behavior around you changes quite a bit. So it's good that there's people like her. Maybe it will help change the stereotypes about South Asian people.
I try to represent foreigners in Poland because I know how tough it is.
Do you feel like you were accepted culturally in Poland, or maybe because of your skin color, people always had questioning you?
Obviously, growing up, there was not that big of a population of foreigners in Poland. I would get looks, I would get comments, and then I would just introduce that I was born in here. So if you're telling me to go to a different country, this is my country. This land is yours, so is mine.
Of course, I would say like racism, I face it here. Not only one time, 3, 4, 5 times.
How do you deal with racism?
If he is drunk, what you will do? You will be just ignore that person. Because you are living here as an immigrant, you are from outside. Yeah, there are good people everywhere. There are bad people everywhere. So,
But did anybody get physical?
no, never anybody become physical.
Well, for me personally,
Also, he's really buff, so I wouldn't want to mess with that guy either.
I haven't faced any racism. Only one, this like really drunk guy. I mean, he was
What flag is that? Zimbabwe, I think, right? Or he's from Africa for sure.
probably having a hard time in his life. I didn't take it personal. I was like, he's more on him rather than on me.
So would you say you're well received in Poland as a foreigner?
Generally, I've been well received, but as in every country, there is a bit of
Look at his drip though, bro. This guy is dressed impeccably. And when you walk around like that, I feel like it's hard not to get respect from people because he's dressed very cleanly, very well, but not in like a super flashy way. So he blends in quite well here in Europe, man. Good on him. His style is fantastic.
xenophobia. They are protective of their country and their culture.
Do you think the perception of Polish people when it comes to foreigners is changing?
It's slowly changing. I've also had the advantage of also going to Polish villages where there's probably in the 2,000-year history of that village, they've never seen a black man. So I've had that opportunity where you see kids on windows literally shocked, especially the younger people. They're really excited to meet black or African people. And the older people, it's either they're afraid because it's very new to them. Imagine if you're like 75 years old, you see a black man for the first time in your life. That would be loud. That would be like terrifying. They are distancing from, let's say, people from other races or other cultures. I mean, I feel really accepted. We have to remember that as foreigners, we're visitors to this country. And when you're a visitor, you do not copy and paste your culture to other people.
Amen,
you respect what's similar between your cultures, and then you accept the differences. I always see myself as a visitor. With that comes a humility that allows me to make friends with Polish people because they understand that, oh, he's actually making an effort to learn Polish. He's
That's the
respecting
big one.
our culture, he's respecting our manners. Imagine if someone came to your country and they just want to speak English. They just really want the money they can make in your country. So if I put my brain into the...
He brought up such an important point because that is the mindset of a lot of foreigners that are living here. And this is why I harp on the language thing so much, because I'm making an effort to learn Polish, right? But I know so many foreigners who have not even tried. They've been here for 3 years, 5 years, 6 years, and have not tried once. So I think Poland needs to do something about that. I've said in the past, maybe reforming the language. That may not be the smartest way to frame it, but make it a little more accessible to foreigners, maybe have like free places where people can learn Polish. It's the foreigner's responsibility to learn the language, but it is very upsetting to see so many people coming to Poland and only speaking English. I think it's very disrespectful, but it's gonna happen. We're already seeing it happening now. To be honest, I do think Polish is a racist country, but not in like a bad way. Like that sounds really bad. Polish people are also very anti-Ukrainians right now, to be completely honest. They seem to be the ones that get the most hate out of everybody. But that's just how it is. I highly recommend their channel. Their channel is blowing up. They have 4 videos and all of them got crazy amount of views. I highly recommend that you guys watch this video next. Let me know what other videos I should watch, and I will see you on the next one.